All right, so this is a continuation of our lecture on Chapter 8 in the Industrial Materials class. Now we're going to be talking about the production of extrusions. Extrusions are also a very, very important way that we get our raw material in industry. So probably also one of the main ways are, well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and start out with a little story kind of going back into my experience. Um, Probably one of the uh, times in my career when I was working in industry where I really, really got chewed out and got into quite a bit of trouble with my boss was in regard to a product that was made out of extruded material. And just as a side note, I was working at the time uh, and running a small manufacturing company out in northeast Pennsylvania and northeast Philly. Um, and I had gone to a trade show where I had seen this kind of a benchtop type combination lathe and milling machine, and I believe it was a German manufacturing company that was working that had brought it over and was set up at this trade show. They were in process of looking for U.S. distributors, and of course, the company that I was running, we manufactured a lot of machine tool attachments, right angle heads, other types of uh, cutting tool adapters for the machine tool industry, and I was always kind of looking for ways to increase my sales. So I kind of saw this. I thought it was a very, very interesting uh, machine to use to help for training purposes or to sell to a variety of other different types of companies or even to try to get into some other markets to increase my sales. So I went ahead. I believe it was about $500 for the actual tool that they were looking at, and this was probably somewhere around 2001, maybe 2002, right in there early in this century. So I went ahead and put it on the my corporate charge card and brought it back. Of course, I went to show it to my um, boss, who happened to be the VP of the tool group for the um, larger corporation that I was a subsidiary of, and of course he uh, did not like the product at all, predominantly because of the extruded materials. He thought it was a toy, and that's basically what he told me. He's like, "This is just a toy. This isn't a good quality machine tool." And of course, you have to understand at that time. That was probably the first time I'd really came into any type of extrusions. At that time, most of your machine tools themselves were being built out of either cast bases and machine boxways, or even cast boxways that were machined and then hand scraped down in order to get the rigidity and the strength needed for a machine tool. And here I had this kind of small benchtop type machine that was made out of extruded aluminum, and the frame and the base was all extruded aluminum, which at the time I believe was fairly new and innovative. And he just didn't think that it was suitable. So of course I did get my kind of chewed out on that one. And of course now those extrusions, those aluminum extrusions that were basically building the frame and the base of that particular machine. Nowadays you see these everywhere, especially in your 3D printing machine. So if you go to pretty much any of the 3D printers like Creality's Ender 3 or Prusa's printers, you will see this extruded aluminum frames, and a lot of other tools and machines now are being made out of these type of extruded pieces as well, which is really quite remarkable. So but 20 years ago it wasn't kind of seen the same way, so things have came quite a ways. That was my first real experience with extruded material. in terms of the machine tool industry. And nowadays, I definitely see that in 3D printing machines all the time. So now now that I've kind of gotten that story out, let's go ahead and talk about the production of extrusions. And we can use extrusions. Basically, the steel can be made into a seamless pipe, rod, definitely special shaped sections as well. There's a variety of different types of sections that can be used where that material is basically pushing, or that heated billet is being pushed through a die into the actual shape that is the desired end result of this particular method. So, and you see this more and more here. There are variations of shapes that you get out of it, and there is a lot of practical application with this as well. So here's probably a good example. You do see this a lot more probably with aluminum parts and brasses and bronzes and some other types of non-ferrous alloys, but you also will see this with ferrous alloys as well. So um, basically, we are pressing that material through two dies, a lower die and an upper die. You'll notice here as we take a look at this lower die, there are some fins in here, what we call these different types of spider supports that help to hold those pieces. And of course, those are small enough and thin enough that the metal will more or less form around those. It's pushed through the lower die, and then of course you have an upper die where it's another section that's also pushed through there as well. So that metal flows, and of course as we extrude this, there is no seam. So probably the closest example of what this is if you've ever had one of those Play-Doh machines where it's got like a little hand pump and you got different shape pucks that you put on the end, or where you're pressing the Play-Doh through it and it gives you that shape. Or if you're talking about cookie doughs, and there's cookie dough presses too, where we're basically extruding that material through. And this is the same type of thing, only now we're doing this with metal. There are a lot of applications that are being used for this. So you do have very uniform, what they refer to as an equiaxed grain structure. So it's very uniform composition. So there are no porosity issues or errors here. So we are free from those porosity errors, unlike castings would be. So some of the applications that we use this for are heat exchangers, hydraulic system tubing, so other types of fuel and lubrication distribution lines are all going to use this type of extruded steel. Of course, in that case, it's just more or less tubes, but it could be other types of extrusions there as well. As a safety note, you do want to be aware of volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. All of these operations do generate VOCs, so these vapors. So you do want to make sure that if you're working in these areas, that you are wearing proper protection. And of course, sometimes these VOCs can be released into surrounding neighborhoods as well. So, and those are safety concerns that a manufacturer would have in regard to these particular types of manufacturing processes. All right, so that kind of gets us through with extrusions. That's pretty short and sweet. Obviously, there are a lot more going on with extrusions than just that, but I will come back here at the end. I'm going to go ahead and pause this particular one, and then we will finish up with the next lecture going into production of powder metal parts and potential for additive manufacturing processes.